Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Accounts Guru Cool. Learn accounting online. So today we are here with one more content, and in this we are going to discuss about how FX revaluation affects the R2R process, a practical overview. So we are going to discuss more about the FX revaluations from the R2R standpoint, how this is going to be the impact on R2R processes. What we have to take care when we are closing the books of account, how it's going to be the part of our month-end processes. That's all we are going to discuss by taking into consideration of the one of the practical scenario. So request all the viewers to be a part of our membership to get some exclusive benefits from there. This content also we have created based on the request of one of our member. So you are also able to get a scope to ask us to create a content as per your requirement. In addition to that, if you have any query and you want to connect with us, you are able to get a scope to speak with us and ask your query to get clarifications on that. In addition to that, if you guys are looking for any sort of training related to accounting and finance, either that's going to be your P2P, O2C, FANA, or R2R, or if you're looking for any sort of training to analyze your skill gap, or if you need to connect with us for any few sessions, so you can connect with us as well. If you are looking for any software training, you have a scope to drop an email on accounts.gurucool@yahoo.com for exclusive hands-on training that drives results. So we'll see how this FX revaluation is going to impact in or on R2R processes. So before going to jump towards the practical scenario, first we'll discuss more about that. What is mean by FX revaluations and how this is important from R2R standpoint. So the FX revaluation, it means that foreign exchange revaluations. Then what is mean by this? How this is going to be the important? What we have to do with this? That's all we need to get a clarity on that. So if you see towards this, the FX revaluations. Before that, it's important to have a clarity about the accrual concept of accounting. And we know that what is mean by accrual concept of accounting. Again, if it's a uh, discuss on that. So in a quick, with few sentences, the accrual concept is going to say that you have to book the expenses as and when that's incurred, and you have to book the revenue as and when that's on. So it means that any expenses which is realized, which is incurred, you have to take it into the considerations from the accrual concept. Now the one thing is might be in your, you are asking the question to yourself, so in this FX revaluation, how this is going to come into the pictures? If we receive the invoice in a foreign currency, then the before that, if this FX revaluation, this is going to be there because of the fluctuation of your currency. So if you purchase the invoice, if you purchase the material, and the conversion rate of that materials on that date, and plus when you are going to do the payment of that, so in between that durations, if your currencies fluctuate, and because of the fluctuation of that currency, what's the impact is going to be? That's going to be FX revaluations. And there are two type of FX revaluations. That's the one, it's a realized gain loss, and one realized unrealized gain loss. So how that's going to be impact, how we have to take the entry for that, and being from the R2R standpoint, why this is important. So when you are closing the books of account, we have to reinstate the foreign currency balances as on that date when you are closing your books of account. Assuming that as on 28th of Feb, if you are closing the books of account, so what you have to do is that you need to reinstate your foreign currency balances by consideration of the exchange rate as on 28th Feb 2025. Whatever the conversion rate is on that date, from that you have to do the conversions and to see how much is going to be the actual payable or receivables. So, and whatever the difference due to the fluctuation of currency, we have to take it into the considerations as either FX gain or loss. And this is unrealized. This is not exactly realized. So that's we need to discuss. Now, if you see from the one of the example to get a more clarity about that, for example, if accounts Gurukul raised invoice on 14th Feb 2025. So invoice date is 14th Feb 2025 and the impact is going to be when you raise the invoice. So your entry is going to be your customer, that's a AR account is going to debit to your revenue account is going to credit. And the second it's the in foreign currency, that's the $100. If it's going to be the foreign currency, then this is your $5,000 and this is your $5,000. This is in your foreign currency. Now, how much is going to be in your functional currency? And the conversion rate on that date is 86. So it's going into your functional currency. That's a 5,000 into this 4,30,000. And this is going to be the 4,30,000. It means that in INR, you have the AR, that's the account receivable, that's a 4,30,000. This is going to be the receivable from your customer. Now, the invoice will be due on 14th March 2025. That's your due date. But before that's going to be due and receive the amount from your customer, on 28th of Feb, you are going to do the closure of your books of account from R2R. So when you are doing the closure of your books of account, you need to reinstate your foreign currency balances with conversion rate as on that date. And assuming that on 28th of Feb, your conversion rate is 85. So your conversion rate as on 28th Feb is 85. So when you are closing the books of account, you have to present how much is exactly amount is going to receive or pay as on that date. And what's the positions for you? Either it's pay from the payable and receivables. And because of this fluctuation of the currency, what's going to be the impact in the books of account? So when you are closing the books as on 28th of Feb and publishing the numbers, it means as on that date, how much is your receivables? How much is exactly your receivables? Assuming that your business is going to be closed and you receive the payment on that date, then how much is going to receive in the books of account? So if you see, it's a 5,000 in foreign currency and the conversion rate is 85. So you are going to receive only 4,25,000. But in your books of account, as on 14th Feb, the receivable amount is 4,30,000. But if you are assuming that you are closing your books on 28th of Feb, then what's the actual account receivable? That's a 4,25,000. So this is going to be treated as a reinstate of your foreign currency balances. How much is going to be the valuations as on date? That's important for me since I'm going to publish the numbers as on 28th of Feb. So I can't see that keep this 4,30,000 is my receivables. If it's in foreign currency 5,000 and conversion rate is 85, so you are going to receive only 4,25,000. And this is unrealized gain loss since the amount is not actually received in your account. But from the accrual standpoint, you have to consider this. Then how much is the change due to currency fluctuation is that 5,000. So it means on a 14th Feb, the receivables is 4 lakh 30. And now as on 28th of Feb, that's a 4 lakh 25. So 5,000 is your unrealized loss. This is unrealized loss, not the realized one. Realized loss or gain is going to come into the pictures on the full and final settlement or on the settlement of that invoice, actual payout or receipt of that invoice. So now here that amount is not receiving, but from the books of account, when we are closing our books, we have to reinstate the foreign currency balances. So now we have the 4 lakh 30,000 as an AR. So we have to reduce that. So the entry is going to be your unrealized FX loss is going to be the debit. This is unrealized FX loss account is going to debit. That's the 5,000 to your AR account is going to credit. That's the 5,000. And if you see now, by consideration of this entry, how much is the total closing balance of your AR as on 28th of Feb? So earlier, that's a 4 lakh 30. Now you have credit to AR account, that's a 5,000. So your closing balance in the AR is 4 lakh 25,000. And if you are going to uh, con convert this into USD by considering 85 user rate as on 28th of Feb, it's exactly 5,000 is going to receivable. So that's the way the foreign currency exchange gain loss or revaluation of the foreign currency impact in R2R. And the same entry is going to be do the auto reversals on the very first day of the next month. That's going to be on this is going to be again your AR account is debit to your unrealized FX gain loss account is credit. So this entry is going to be do the reversal. So it means again your AR is reinstated as a 4 lakh 30,000. So if on a 14th March, if you receive the payment and your foreign currency rate is again fluctuate, but that's the actual settlement when you are receiving the amount against that invoice. And on that date, due to the fluctuation of the currency, if any changes over there, that's going to be treated as an realized gain or loss. That's the actual one. That's a realized. And the realized FX gain is going to be there as a books of account, and that's not reversible entry for that. That's the actual realized FX gain loss. And that's need to ensure from the accounts payable and account receivable team, since the accounts payable team is going to do the payment and account receivable team do the applications, receipt application. So that's not the part of R2R. So R2R is responsible from the unrealized gain loss standpoint when we are doing the valuations of the revaluations of the foreign currency. When we are closing the books of account. So whatever balances we have in the foreign currency, either that's a payable or receivable. So we have to reinstate that by taking into consideration of the conversion rate, what's actually on that date. And due to fluctuation in the foreign currency, whatever the impact is going to be, that's treated as an unrealized gain loss. And this is going to be the reversible journal entry. Since we have to do the reversals on a following month, then that's going to be the auto reversals, or we have to do the reversal for that. Since the actual realized gain loss is going to taken care when we are doing the payout for that transactions or receipt of that transaction. So that's all related to the FX gain loss and how that's impact on R2R and what we have to consider when we are closing the books of account. So thanks guys for being with us to get a more insight about accounting and finance. In addition to that, request all the members to like, share, and ask us to create a content as per your requirement. So we are here to support to all of our members. So request you to ask us to create a content as per your requirement. So thank you being a part of our membership, and we are going to create a more content which going to give a practical knowledge plus the actual knowledge from the accounting and finance. So thank you.